Today's video, we're going over 5 more sites you can find profitable inventory on. The last one will ban your account, but it's still worth knowing what it is because you could really crush it at the beginning. We'll be using SellerAmp. I'll show you exactly how I source using SellerAmp on these sites, and of course, how to get the stuff cheap, what kind of sales cycles these places run, what is the best stuff to look for on these sites. So without further ado, let's get over to the computer and start looking at some profitable sites. All right, before we get started and going through the 5 sites that I have sourced profitable inventory from prior, just want to go SellerAmp Quick Start Guide. If you want help or a refresher, how to use SellerAmp, how to set up the spreadsheets that I use for my business to manage them, you're going to want to check these out. This is also great if you have VAs. Recently, if someone messaged me saying their VAs watch my videos, so if you want to give them a little bit of training, I kind of walk through my thought process of whether I'd buy stuff. There's live sourcing strategies. There is profitable products I would buy, why I would buy them. So much stuff. There's probably, I don't know, I think there's 12 or 14 videos in here. Just click the link below. No email required. Totally yours. With that being said, let's get into some of these sites, guys. First site up here is going to be Guitar Center. Guitar Center, I'll be honest, this is going to be one of those sites that you're not going to find a ton of stuff, but when you do find stuff, it'll be really good. One thing I really like about the Guitar Center, it's a lot of music stuff. So you'll see here they have Memorial Day sale up to 35%. This website can be a little tricky because like you're thinking, oh, 35%, but it's saying up to 35%. So that does not mean everything is on sale for 35%. So just keep that in mind when you're kind of looking for stuff like this. But the nice part about this kind of stuff, what you're really looking for, or what I have found success with in the past, is kind of stuff like this. So like a guitar effects pedal, that the stuff you are sourcing is definitely going to be higher priced, which kind of will knock some people out of the market. Not everyone's going to be able to buy 3, 5, 10 of these right off the bat. So just keep that in mind with this. And it is very niche. So the music category could be a really great category. As you can see here, it works really nicely with SellerAmp as well. Literally just do the right click, pulls it up here. It looks like Amazon is selling this, and we need to get this for $79. If you wanted to see if this is on Amazon, this is why I like SellerAmp so much. Back in the day before I got it, you literally go to Amazon, the site itself, and actually type that in to see if it is selling, which is crazy. You'll see Amazon had this for $179. So it looks like they're kind of matching Guitar Center's price, which is interesting. I wonder if Guitar Center put this on like April 5th. Could be, who knows? Could be a potential opportunity to compete against Amazon. What is this price at? $129. Even at $179, I don't know if that would work. So all my settings are already set up in SellerAmp, so I don't have to worry about that. So $129.99. So you'd be making $14 profit on this, about 10% ROI. Too razor thin for me to kind of, especially to compete against Amazon on. But if we were able to find other ways to get this price down, maybe discounted gift cards, maybe we could find a hidden promo code somewhere, and we could get this cost down to what we need it to be. This is what I like about SellerAmp too. It's giving you the max cost. So this is the most I could pay for this to hit my ROI goal, which is at least 30%, at least $3 profit. And it already has considered that my prep fee, how much I'm shipping to Amazon, how much that's going to cost. I figure about 80 cents. Really also depends on what you're shipping. These are going to be small. So you can keep that in mind too. And then it's going to just break down everything for you. And then I have all these sheets. Go to the SellerAmp Quick Start Guide and you'll see exactly how I use those. But Guitar Center could be great. And get on their email list. They send a ton of emails. And if you are by a Guitar Center, there are definitely sometimes opportunities in store. If they don't have it in stock online, you could definitely get it in store. Next up is Office Depot. Office Depot is a good one. What I like about Office Depot is it basically is for businesses. So that really helps you because guess what? They don't care if you buy in bulk. From my experience, I've had a lot of good experience with them. You want to think a little bit outside the box. You're going to want to kind of stay away from the school supplies, the markers, the paper, and stuff like this. You're going to want to see what they have over here. So you have buy one, get one, 50% off, all scotch, postage. This stuff is really probably not going to make sense for you. What you're going to get some good ones on if you're ungated in Keurig. They'll run some good deals on the Keurig K-Cups, which is nice. Label makers could potentially do good. I've had some success with voice recorders, like basically something you talk in, and it records. It's great for like lawyers and people who are doing press gigs or whatever. So really like that. Also easy just to search. You'll see here it's just pulling up the office supplies category. No big deal because all we have to do is highlight this then and then do the SellerAmp. I kind of wanted to show you what happens if you don't, and you're just going to hit that just like that. And here we go. It popped up. This is obviously a bigger pack, so this is the 20. This could just be on the variation. So it's going to pull in. It's just a starting point for you. So if we click on this right here, let's see. This is the 20. So this is the 60 box that they're selling. So this would be the 21, and you need to get this for $2.92. That's not going to work in this scenario. What the K cups that will typically work are going to be your seasonal ones, pumpkin spice, peppermint stuff. We already have pumpkin spice right over here. So let's see. Pumpkin spice. I didn't even plan this intentionally. So there might not be anything, but those are the kind of ones that are going to do well on Amazon. So you're going to want to kind of look at stuff like that. This one also could just be on a variation listing. That's why it's kind of taking us to that. Light roast. Maybe they don't have a pumpkin spice yet. If you wanted to, you could just do Green Mountain Pumpkin Spice. So here it is. So we'll pull this up right here, which is, let's just load for a second. SellerAmp also has this down here. So this is part of their plugin. And it's going to show you if Amazon's on it, how many FBA sellers, how many FBM. So even though Amazon is on this, right away we're seeing there's 10 FBM people, 1 FBA person. So there might be room to compete on Amazon with this. It's going to show you a review. It's going to show you the ASIN. So you could just copy that if you wanted to. So it's just a kind of a quick guide. So you could just like click into there, which is super helpful. And I really like that feature as well. So this is good for that label printer stuff, good for clearance, office supplies stuff. So that I've had some luck with like keyboard mouse combinations. So that kind of stuff usually does well from there. Next up is Macy's. I feel like a lot of people don't think about Macy's. I'm not really sure why. I really like Macy's a lot. One not so great thing about Macy's is they kind of limit what you could buy per order. So you're going to have to be doing a lot of checkouts for that, which is annoying. You could typically get like between 8 and 12. It just really depends on what you buy. The stuff you're going to want to look for on Macy's is going to be shoes, apparel. I like to think of stuff like boxers. When I come to somewhere like Nike, men's boxers are always good. If you're in kind of like the bra category, that's going to be good as well. You could just see here 35% off, 30% off. Sometimes you'll get these buy one get one free, which are nice. This is definitely too pricey. I could tell right off the bat, probably. But some of the boxer deals are really good. I've definitely have sourced Nike boxers off of here before. I know some people will do Tommy Hilfiger boxers. So it's just, I don't know. It's just easy to kind of do. and pull up information there. Again, for Macy's in particular, it's usually best just to highlight on using SellerAmp because you just get a more exact pull, which is great. These are selling for 24, which is kind of crazy since they're selling here for 29. These might not be the same exact ones, but that's why I really like SellerAmp because it's like I'm not even messing around with this. This does not seem profitable at all. But there's also a ton of variation. It looks like it was priced higher at one point. I don't know what happened here, but so this is a good one. One of the one of the best things you can do on Macy's is use the filters. They really let you filter down a lot. So if you just want to see, Tommy Hilfiger stuff, this is going to bring up all the Tommy Hilfiger stuff. So you don't have to go through the stuff you're gated in. This could also be pretty clutch during Q4 for toys. I've definitely bought some Lego sets from Macy's or some hotter toys. A lot of sellers don't think to come here for toys. You'll see they have games, puzzles. They always have Legos. They will have some Lego clearance as well. And some of the stuff that is clearance out online will also be clearance out in the store. Again, you could use your filters here. If you just want to see Lego, you could do that. Get that going, and then you could just hit view all items, and then you could also filter down over here. You could see offers right here, limited time special, sales or discounts. So we just want to see the stuff that's on sale or discount. We could just sort that out here, and just kind of go through this one, and it just gets easy, especially when you're doing Legos. SellerAmp is super clutch because it's just going to pull in that number. So you're not really going to get like many mismatches. Sometimes clothing and apparel is just hard in general. Another area that you could crush on Macy's if you're ungated and a lot of this stuff is beauty. I know beauty's been getting hammered pretty hard on Amazon, not as much as clothing and apparel has lately, but they will have some really 40% off, 30% off. They got a lot of gift sets. Another thing to look at is socks. We already talked about boxers. So Macy's is pretty clutch. They ship pretty quickly. Don't really have any issues. You could also get discounted gift cards for Macy's. So Macy's is pretty solid. Number 4 is going to be Chewy. Chewy, there is a love-hate relationship with Chewy. Sometimes they can be really annoying and they're canceling orders. Other times they're fine. I know people who absolutely crush Chewy. I have never had any issues with Chewy. I've never had anything canceled. I had something canceled once, and it turned out they were just like, "Oh, we just wanted to check to make sure you wanted all of this." And I was like, "Yes, I do," and they just put it through. I probably had a Chewy account for like 4 or 5 years now. So if you're just getting into Chewy, you're going to want to take it easy. They always have this offer, like maybe every other month or every couple weeks. So basically, spend $100, you get a $30 gift card, which is just easy. That's basically like 30% off. So just keep that in mind. They will have a limit on this. You can only do it, I don't know, it might tell you maybe 2 or 3 times. And they will send you the gift card. So just kind of keep that in mind when you get that. Other things to be on the lookout for on Chewy. Kong usually does IP complaints. I don't know why I clicked on that. But they also are pretty friendly when it comes to SellerAmp. Easy to pull this stuff up. Pulls it up right away. Don't even have to highlight it. Looks like you need to get this. This will probably work at 30% off. It looks like it's already discounted 53%. But if you did the gift card thing, that would work as well because you're not really stacking. You're just getting that gift card. So you could easily see right here, this would be worth looking into potentially if this wasn't a brand that kind of did IP complaints, as you just saw that pop up right there. So want to stay away from that. But the dog toys, they'll usually do like buy 2 get 1 free. I've seen buy one get two free. They do this a lot on snacks, so it'll be dog treats, cat treats, like this greenie stuff. That's where you're gonna kind of crush it. Back in the day, you were able to really kind of like during COVID, around there, like wet and cat food was like really big. A lot of people were bundling like different varieties of cat food. Like they'd basically buy a case and then put different flavors in it. With the new bundling policies, I doubt you are able to do that anymore. But yeah, I used to order a ton of cat food from here. Definitely have ordered stuff like this, the dental bones, like we kind of talked about earlier, and just treats. It's just super easy to kind of go through this stuff. And once you find a seller too that is definitely, this some of the shampoo stuff is good, for dogs. I've definitely had some luck with that, and they will run like buy one get two, or shampoos 30% off. What you want to avoid is like trying to take advantage of their early signups. That will kind of get you in trouble and kicked off the site. I've known people who have gotten kicked off like that. You'll see here Amazon is on it, but we'll just pull this up real quick because I want to show you something with this. So another kind of feature of SellerAmp, if you are not familiar or you're just here for the refresher, is you could just see who is currently on here. So we'll see this is another FBA seller. I'm just going to pull that. It's going to pull up his whole storefront. I don't want to blow it up, but it's going to show you everything he's selling, and it's going to sort the most popular to the least popular. So just know that you could do that on the site. So obviously he's higher than Amazon, or she. And then if we wanted to see if they are going or winning the buy box, it looks like Amazon's winning it 100% of the time. They might be trying to test this to see whether or not they could get it or not. But that is that. So this is great for the gift card promo, the buy one get ones on the snacks. So kind of be on the lookout for that. Definitely sign up for their emails because they send a ton of emails and they always have a sale. Their clearance could be hit or miss, but like anything else with this, once you start figuring out the brands, the sales cycles, all that kind of stuff, it gets much easier. It just takes time to kind of get to that point. Last but not least is going to be Hibbit. So Hibbit is going to be a site just really for beginners, because Hibbit will ban you pretty quickly. The reason I did keep Hibbit on here is because they do run crazy specials. You're not going to be able to get a ton of stuff through. Think of qualities like 5 to 10. You want to keep your order size low. But they usually always have between 20 to 25% off. And then they have some crazy rewards program that you could basically you rack up, and then they'll take it eventually. But if you're kind of new to the game and you're kind of doing apparel, this is also good for sports equipment, hats, socks, boxers, shorts, like I said, lots of apparel, but also good for some sporting goods stuff as well. You could definitely take advantage of this. They also do have a lot of retail spots. I know there are a couple by me. So that could definitely really help. You have to be careful with some of these coupons too, because some of them will be like, it's 20% off, but it's in like store only. So you'd actually have to go to the store in order to get that 20% off. And you wouldn't be able to order online if you get your account banned, which is super annoying. But again, pretty friendly with SellerAmp as well. It just pulls everything up, which is really, really easy to use. And they have really good discounts. I actually know a couple other people too. They said Hibbit, like they got banned, but then they went back like 6 months later. They got a couple orders through. Hibbit, you really have to kind of jig your address. If you don't know what that means, it was like if it's like side hustle experiment is the address. You want to try to put like side hustle experiment 1. Side Hustle Experiment 2, and kind of just use different email addresses and stuff like that. Can be kind of a pain, but if you find a couple of things that are good, you can definitely clean up for a little bit until they kind of catch on to you. But once they catch on, they usually do ban you. This is more for the new people, to get your foot in the door, find some brands, see how they sell, but that is that one. So I hope you found this helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. Get the SellerAmp Quick Start Guide. And guys, I will see you in the next video.